Hi guys, this week we're going to look at scene locations. Let's get started. Okay, the scene description, or scene location, scene description, let's say. You have the scene header, which is like interior, exterior. We're talking about the bit that goes just underneath that. These are needed so it's a visual medium what we write in, so we understand what we're looking at. We need to get that couple of lines. A lot of people get very novelistic with this sort of stuff, and it's understandable. You want to make sure that you're painting a picture. You want to make sure that you're being good to the reader. Some people think it's their opportunity to really entertain the reader and paint a picture in their head so the reader will go, oh, I love this so much, I'm going to pass it up the line. This has to be made. It's such a great writing and reading experience. Readers may love to read something, but at the end of it, when they're doing their job, they go, oh, it was a great read. It's not going to make a great movie. It's a good read. Not going to make a good movie. You've got to give them enough information so they can paint the picture in their head. You also don't want to bog them down. As we always say, big blocks of text will bog the read down. You want it to be propulsive. You want people to get through your script and go, oh, that's good, and keep going. So the outcome of this is going to be shorter is better, but let's have a look at some examples. I will put up a picture. I will then show what that looks like or how I would write that, and then we'll look at how other people have written professional things. So let's start the first one. Interior palace entrance day. Large oval-topped glass doors. Yeah, boring. It doesn't really give you the sense of the room. It just gives you the focal point. So let's add a little bit to that. Let's add some atmosphere. Interior palace entrance hall. Day. Light floods through floor to ceiling oval-topped glass doors. I didn't mention the number, so I'm going to put 3. It's probably not in the text, but I'm going to say 3 when I read out this final one. And this final one is only 2 lines, and I think it describes it quite well. Interior palace entrance hall. Day. Light floods through 3 floor-to-ceiling oval-topped glass doors, reflecting on the highly polished parquet flooring, highlighting ornate walls and a chandelier hanging from an equally decorative roof. It should be ceiling. Roofs are on the outside. So 2 lines set the idea. Now we've got the word palace. So remember, you've also got the scene heading. Remember, you also get some things for free. Everyone knows what a high school looks like. Everyone knows, they have an idea of what a palace feels like. Warehouse. They have the idea of what a warehouse feels like. Big and vast. Aircraft hangar. Big and vast. So what you've got in your scene header may give you a bit of a free hit when it comes to what's in your scene description. Let's go to the next one. Interior kitchen day. The kitchen is mostly white and pine. A long dark bench top runs full length under 2 picture windows. Done. Don't have to mention the stainless steel accessories or the bench or anything else. It's just what it is what it is, and it's the way it looks. And that's enough. That gives you enough of an idea. That's sort of all that kitchen needed. If it was something important, if the kitchen itself was a topic, if the kitchen itself was playing a role, you may want to describe it more. If this person was a serial killer, say, and you would want to say something like, the kitchen is stainless steel, clean, very similar to workbenches in a slaughterhouse, adding that would make people go, oh, okay, I understand this room. Or everything could be easily wiped down, smooth surfaces. Again, it might be a little bit creepy. But a kitchen, picture windows, get the idea of light coming in, that sort of stuff, it's all good. And people know what kitchens look like. They know they have sinks. I didn't have to say there was a sink in the middle of the bench top. That's where sinks go. Next one. Interior lounge room day. An overstuffed fabric Chesterfield covered in cushions, sits in the middle of a room facing away from glass doors leading onto a deck. One wall is covered with a large bookcase containing ornaments, pictures, and the family history. Lamps, flowers, and rugs make the room as comfortable as a hug. 2 sentences, and possibly overwritten. In a way, we could have stopped, at the bookcase covered in ornaments. That would imply to anyone doing set direction, okay, so it's ornaments and family history. Those sorts of rooms will have lamps and rugs. And there's a few other chairs in that picture as well. I didn't mention those. I could have gone over the top. I could have just gone something very simple like an overstuffed Chesterfield covered in cushions, sits with its back to windows leading onto a deck. Light comes in showing the eclectic nature of the room. You can just say an eclectic nature. You don't have to describe everything. Remember, shorter, as we're seeing, shorter is probably better. Here's the last one for the things that I've written. Interior, lounge room, day. Anton's apartment reflects his personality perfectly. An eclectic mix of style and function. His Eames lounge and his open-faced piano. From his Eames lounge to his open-faced piano. It's embarrassing, I wrote that. You'll notice that I uppercased Eames lounge. It's true that we uppercase things the first time they're mentioned if they're important. And that's why I've uppercased Eames lounge. Because an Eames is thousands of dollars. People collect them. People spend $30,000 on a 60s Eames. They're handmade, very expensive. There's one just sitting in the back of the Frasier set to let you know that's the sort of guy that Frasier was, that he has an Eames. I don't think I saw anyone sit in that Eames in the 11 years that the show was on. I used to have an Eames office chair, but got a bit old, wore out, and I got myself this one that's far more practical and a lot more comfortable if you're going to sit in it for 10 hours. The next ones are going to be what professionals write. So we'll see how professionals link in the people, the scenario, and it's not just a shopping list of items, which is what I've basically done. There's no people in those shots. And it'd be rare that you have a static shot of a room. You would normally have people. So let's see how professionals implement these things. Interior, semi-basement, day. The dank semi-basement apartment. Kaiwu, 24, runs from corner to corner searching desperately for Wi-Fi signal. Various networks pop up, but they are all password protected. That's the opening of Parasite. Fantastic film, won Best Picture. There's also their toilet gets described later on. It's on a platform up high, so the toilet is above street level because their apartment is just the gutters here and they look out a little bit. It's a sub-basement, a semi-basement. It's not a basement apartment, it's a semi-basement. It's half in the street, half out the street. Very, very weird scenario. Very, very strange situation. And she runs from one end of the apartment to the other. It doesn't describe a corridor, it doesn't describe bedrooms, you can run from one side to the other looking for Wi-Fi. It gives you the idea of the small claustrophobic sense that we're going to look at. And a semi-basement apartment doesn't even say a basement apartment or a converted basement. It's got that weird, is it on the street? Is it in the it's one line. And then if we go back to that, you'll see that Iptime has finally added up a password to their Wi-Fi, which is more desperate. They end up finding, I think, free Wi-Fi from the pizza shop, and her and her brother end up cramped right up against the roof near the toilet, trying to get the free Wi-Fi. It's a great film. Watch Parasite. You'll do yourself a favour. The next one is an external one. I don't have X, I just have the description. It's out of Hell or High Water, the Academy Award-winning script by Taylor Sheridan. This is when they first drive up to the casino, and you get to see a reaction to what they see. Now imagine if you're describing a casino yourself. You want to describe Vegas. Flashing lights, a large cowboy. It's so easy to go over the top. You could do pages of description of what a casino looks like. But this is how Taylor did it. The neon lights of the Comanche Red River Casino invade the night sky and flood the road with yellow, red and green lights. Tanner comes to life at the sight. Remember I said we tie character actions into the room. So the car's driving along and suddenly the night sky is lit up by the casino. I think they even had maybe the road was wet. I can't remember. But there was lots of lights flashing off cars, and I think that's all you need to know. That yellow, red and green lights flood the road. Very emotive. It's flooding the road. It's big. It's invasive. Coloured lights. and you know what a casino. And when I was talking about getting stuff for free, people know what a casino looks like. And Tanner's reaction. So we've got what the film's going to look like, what the scene's going to look like. So we've added a character into the description. So weaving character into a location description, very important. The next one is from the same film, Hell or High Water. It's the diner scene. Here we go. Interior, diner, Vernon, Texas, late afternoon. Toby and Tanner sit at the table, scarfing down chicken fried steak. Through the window, they see the West Texas State Bank branch. They are no longer dressed in their baggy urban gangster wear, but like poor country boys they are. We have the people, we have their dress, which we know. We have the shot through the window to the bank, so we need them near the window. We know what a diner looks like. Everyone's seen what a diner looks like. We have the booths. So we've got this. We've got the scene from, I think it's Goodfellas, with Robert De Niro and Ray Liotta sitting in a booth with a shot through a window. Opening shot of Pulp Fiction with Tim Roth and, in a booth, shot through a window. So we know that these booths line windows. We know what a diner looks like. The next line down gives you more of a description by describing people. Aside from a few old timers sipping coffee in a distant booth, the diner is empty. So it gives you that. It follows the theme of the movie as well, where it's about the US farming community dying off, banks are ripping people off. There's other shots where there's just farm equipment all for auction lining the edge of the road. So, and this is a diner. This diner probably was a thriving community hub when farming was a big deal in America. But now it's empty except for a couple of, what do they call them? Old timers sipping coffee at the end. And I think in America, coffee's free. So these people are just there to sip the free coffee and hang out. It's a dying community. And that scene sums it up perfectly in just a few lines. It also tells you what they're looking at, the bank across the road. So it's bringing the outside in. Here's the next one. This one is Batman. It's okay for us to say, well, Chris Nolan is a writer-director. But his brother John wrote this. And the story was written by, I think it was Chris and David S. Goyer. So John's put together the screenplay. And it's okay to say you're a writer-director, so you can do whatever you want. You can't really do whatever you want because you still have to raise money. He still had to get that passed by DC. He couldn't just do the trust me, because he was still Chris Nolan, but he wasn't the Chris Nolan we know now. He was Chris Nolan. He'd done The Prestige, Memento. He'd done a few, but he hadn't done everything we'd done. I don't think he'd done Inception yet. He hadn't done Tenet yet. There was no Dunkirk. Interstellar hadn't been done. This was the start of the rise, was him doing the Batman movies. So this is out of The Dark Knight, when Alfred is bringing him breakfast. Here's the scene description. Interior, Bat Bunker, continuous. As I said before, he's bringing in breakfast. It's a continuous because we see Alfred at the mansion, at the apartment. Sorry, at the apartment, not the mansion. At the apartment. Bruce isn't in bed. Okay, I know where he's going to be. Then you see the car pull up and he's got some food with him. And then, so it's a continuation from the apartment all the way to the Bat Bunker. So it's a continuous. So we've got that in the heading. Bat Bunker. Interior, Bat Bunker, continuous. The container floor lowers on a giant piston. Alfred steps off onto a large, low-ceilinged concrete chamber. The Batmobile sits in the middle. Machines, 3D printers, power tools dot the high-tech space. At one end, Wayne sits at a bank of monitors watching CCTV footage of the bank robbery. It gives us an idea of the vast area of the place. Look at my office, right? I've got my camera here, I've got my desk here where I write, and I've got my guitars over there. You can't say, and at one end, Craig sits, because the room isn't big enough to have one end. It is a room. So by putting the at one end, it gives you an idea that there's one end down there and one end over there. It gives you an idea of vastness. But the really important part, the part that's in uppercase, and it's that feeling that you get when you go there, is a low-ceilinged concrete chamber. And that's what they highlight, because they want you to get that feeling of that narrow bunker. And look at the image, you'll see that the low ceiling is the important part. It was a bit of a strange feeling when you saw it too. Normally these workshop secret lairs are big, vast places, like inside aircraft hangars, and there's cranes and things moving overhead. His isn't. And the Batmobile just fits in. And he's got 3D printers and he's got machines. So you know it's big because it lists some of the things in there. But the low ceiling is the important part. That gives you the claustrophobic feel. So we can see that these Academy Award winning and blockbuster films, 1 line, 2 line, not a paragraph, not 10 lines, not 3 or 4 things broken across many lines. I was overwriting and I thought I was being very, very sparse. When you look at professionals, they're even more sparse. And this is where we get the less is more idea. If you hit a like, thanks very much. It will help the channel, but it also helps you in that the algorithm understands that you like the keywords that we have here. I have screenwriting and all those sorts of things in the text. So I go, you like screenwriting? I'm going to give you more stuff around the arts and screenwriting. So a thumbs up helps me, helps my ego. It's fantastic, thank you. But it also means that you'll be fed things that you want to see. Thank you to everyone who's been doing this. That's an amazing thing as well. I think if you want to leave a comment, ask questions, or better still, if you would like to write descriptions for some of those rooms that you've seen, even the Batmobile stuff, but even the ones I showed with the oval windows and the apartment, give it a go. Drop some in the comments and we'll go back and forth and see what we come up with, and we'll mention them in the next episode. Okay, guys, until next time, keep writing.